Hey, if you're a business leader, does this sound familiar? You're constantly drowning in the day-to-day, always putting out fires, and you've kind of lost sight of the big picture. Maybe you're just not having that much fun anymore. Well, what if I told you the key to getting your freedom back wasn't some crazy new strategy, but one simple, often overlooked word? That word is process. And today, we're going to see how it can completely change the game for you.
This is the fundamental question, isn't it? Every leader has to ask themselves this. I mean, if your days are just spent on defense, reacting to problems instead of actually building the future, then yeah, the answer is probably yes. Your business is running you. So let's talk about how we flip that script. To really solve this problem, you've got to give it a name. So let's call it the land without process. It's this chaotic, confusing place where, honestly, a lot of businesses live without even realizing it. It's a world defined by a constant, exhausting struggle. Let's take a look at what it really feels like to be there.
So what's it actually like to work in this place? Well, imagine being sent on a steep uphill hike with no map, no compass, no trail markers, nothing. Your team is just left guessing, totally unsure of the right way to do things, even for tasks they do every single day. And that creates this constant, low-level anxiety that just drains energy and absolutely kills productivity. Pride, ego, confusion, fear, these aren't just abstract, fuzzy feelings. No, these are the direct, tangible symptoms of a business that's operating without any clear processes. You can think of them as toxins, and each one is slowly but surely poisoning your company culture.
So how does this play out in the real world? It's simple. An employee makes an honest mistake on a task they were never really trained on. First, they feel embarrassed. Then comes fear. And finally, resentment, because the system itself totally set them up to fail. And that's how those walls of mistrust get built, brick by painful brick.
But here's the good news. You don't have to stay in that land of chaos. There is a much, much better world, and that's our destination. So, welcome to the land of process, and seriously, forget what you think you know. This isn't about rigid rules or bureaucracy. It's about creating a shared reality where everyone on your team can finally thrive.
So what does it feel like to work here? Well, instead of fear, you get peace. Instead of all that confusion, you get clarity. The chaos is replaced by this seamless rhythm where everyone is speaking the same language about how the work gets done. And all of this, it adds up to one thing, a great culture.
I mean, look at this. The contrast couldn't be more stark. It's night and day. On one side, you've got a business fueled by ego and fear. And on the other, a business built on clarity and purpose. And here's the most powerful part. You get to choose. The world your company lives in is a direct result of this single commitment, the commitment to document your way forward. Okay, so let's be super clear about what we mean by process. This is not about creating some 300-page manual that just collects dust on a shelf. The process solution is all about making your business so clear that your team feels empowered. They know what to do, who to talk to, and how to deliver excellence consistently every single time.
All right, this all sounds great, but how do you actually get there? How do you build that bridge from the land of chaos to the land of clarity? Well, the good news is there's a roadmap, and it doesn't take years to travel it.
I know what you might be thinking right now. I don't have time for this. That's the biggest hurdle for everyone. But here's the secret. You don't have to boil the ocean. This isn't about documenting every single click and keystroke. It's about a short, focused, concentrated effort to map out the absolute critical path of your business.
And here are the steps. It all starts at the top, right? The leaders have to commit. Then you plan it out. You gather the real experts in your company, the people actually doing the work, to map the process. Then you test it, you refine it, and then you train the whole team. It's a logical, totally achievable flow.
90 days. That's it. That's the timeline we're talking about. Not years, not even a full year. It's one single quarter. I mean, think about that for a second. One quarter of focused effort to fundamentally and permanently change how your business operates. In just 90 days, you can build the foundation for a company that finally gives you your freedom back and, lets you have fun again. So once you have these processes in place, your job as a leader fundamentally changes. You're no longer the chief problem solver or the keeper of all the secret knowledge. No, you get to step into a new and way more powerful role.
Your role shifts completely. You stop managing people's every single move. Instead, you create a great process, and you manage to that process. This isn't micromanagement, it's the exact opposite. it creates consistency and fairness, and it empowers your team to manage themselves by just following a clear, agreed-upon path.
You know, this all boils down to one single powerful idea. You build a system so the system can do the heavy lifting. This is how you finally stop the business from running you. It's how you reclaim your time to think, to strategize, to lead, instead of just reacting all day. In a word, it's freedom.
And hey, if any of this sounds a little cold or, I don't know, too corporate, just consider this powerful reframe from Brené Brown. Clarity is kindness. Leaving your team to guess and struggle in a fog of uncertainty is deeply unkind. But providing them with a clear, documented path to succeed in their role, that is one of the most compassionate things you can possibly do as a leader.
And what do you get to do with all this newfound freedom? You get to focus on what actually matters. When you're not bogged down in repetitive questions and daily fires, your mind is finally free to innovate, to solve bigger problems, and to connect with your team on a human level. You get to be the visionary again.
So I'll leave you with this. Just think about it. The wasted hours, the team frustration, the customer mistakes, all the drama. What is the real daily cost your business is paying for staying in the land without process? And maybe more importantly, what could you build if you finally decided it was time to cross that bridge to clarity?